Hey, this is Pat, and today we're checking out the Leatt 5.5 ADV Flowtour jacket. Now, I'm a big fan of Leatt and their new ADV line. We did the 7.5 line a few months ago, and we reviewed those if you want to check them out. The Multi-Tour and the Flowtour are my favorite. Out of that, they actually introduced them into the 5.5 line as well. Now, the 5.5 Flowtour is going to be $440, so a little bit less, but you are getting less in the waterproofing. Instead of a 30K waterproof liner with their HydraDri liner, you're actually getting a 20K, so just a step down in that. Otherwise though, the features still make it one of the best ADV jackets out there, especially for warm to cool weather riding. I'm not saying you can take this one into the winter months. I think this is definitely more of a summer to early fall ADV jacket, but Leatt is one of the few companies out there that's making ADV jackets for ADV off-road riders. A lot of companies tend to make them more for touring or a little bit more for road use. I love that Leatt is unapologetically an off-road company, and I think they're really showing that off with their new helmets, with their new ADV jackets and pants. I think they're doing a great job of really just being who they are, being that South African company and being someone who's in the MX and off-road world and making it for other riders that might be just adding in a little bit of a road section or adding in a little bit of a gravel section while still really ripping through trails out there. And the Flowtour, between the Multi-Tour and the Flowtour is actually my favorite. I tend to ride in more warmer climates. I tend to run hotter, so I like when I have as much ventilation as possible. So for $440, you're getting a mesh and ripstop main construction. You're getting that destination waterproof underneath, which we'll talk about. You're getting CE level 2, elbow, shoulder, and back armor included with the option to add the chest armor, but you're also getting a CE AA abrasion rating. So you have that confidence. Should you go down on the tarmac, you'll have that confidence that you have the abrasion resistance built into the jacket to keep you protected. So Leatt, hats off to you. I've been loving where this new line is going. Please keep it up. This is going to be one of the jackets I actually add into my arsenal. Now, this is available in both a men's and women's option. I got Norman on my left, but we're actually going to start with Gabrielle, who we had this on. She is 5'4", 120 pounds with a 33.5-inch bust measurement. Sizing chart says she'll be in the extra small. We actually have her in a small with all of the liners installed, fitting her spot on. That was the same case with the Multi-Tour. We actually had to bump her up. And if you are riding with all the liners installed, the one size up recommendation is what we're gonna give you out there. Just make sure you bump up one size from what that bust measurement is giving you. As for Norman here on my left, he's 6'3", 220 pounds with a 44-inch chest, currently wearing a size extra large, which was the same in the 7.5 line, it's the same in the 5.5 Multi-Tour, and it's gonna be the same in the 5.5 Flowtour here with that waterproof liner installed in there. A little bit of adjustment throughout, but really something that's spot on, especially with the back protector, and he has space if he wanted to add in the chest protector. Now, on the sizing chart, he's actually a 44-inch chest measurement, is between a large and extra large, but he's been an extra large in all of them, and it's been fitting him spot on. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions about sizing, you can always give our customer service agents a call. They are more than happy to help you get set up. But let's start up at the top, work our way through the entire jacket, see if it is right for you and your riding style. You have about an 1.5 inch tall collar. There is no snap at the front. I really like that. It's just more of like a Mandarin style where it comes down to the front. It has a neoprene rim all the way around for comfort if you're not wearing that waterproof liner, which you can actually see poking up at the top of the collar. You have that, but it is ripstop, and it's going to be a microfiber inner liner just to make sure that it's super comfortable all day. Over on the collarbone, you have a neck brace strap. Leatt is known for their neck braces, something they incorporate into a lot of their jackets. They believe in the safety of it. So if you are wearing one, you can go ahead and put the neck brace under there. It's going to hold it in place on the sides. I like that they add that strap through there. It's not going to be something you can really see, but the reflective kind of gives it away. There is a hydration loop pass through right here. I'm going to unfold it right there. You can actually loop through from the back if you add a hydration pouch to this jacket, you can run the tubing out to the front and connect it down to the clip on the front of the chest. But I do like that they've hidden that away, so it's not something that's going to be standing out or you're going to have the tube over or catch on something. It's going to be nice and hidden away inside of the jacket. This is going to be a full ripstop nylon polyester main construction for the entire chassis of the jacket, down the outer sleeves, down the front at the key areas, but you're also getting the mesh as well. But it's going to be that polyester ripstop throughout the entire key areas. It's going to give you that CE AA abrasion resistance. Now underneath there is going to be their 3DF CE level 2 armor. You're getting that at the shoulder, you're getting that at the elbow, included at the back, and then you have pockets of the chest if you want to add it later. But it's very malleable molecular armor. That's something that gets rigid on impact, but it's nice and ventilated, going to help that airflow out and keep you warm on those hot, or keep you cool on those hotter days of the riding year. A little bit of sublimated Leatt logoing over top of it. The Multi-Tour had an extra flap on the side. I've liked that they haven't included that in all the jackets. It just gives each rider who likes maybe an extra flap or likes the reduced bulk at the sides, gives you something to really think about when you're picking out your gear. You have mesh running down the entire inner sleeve with a little bit of stretch at the crook of the elbow and some adjustment snaps at the bicep as well as the forearm, so you can really dial in this jacket. If you take that waterproof liner out, you get a little bit of extra. You can snap down the forearm, make sure that that elbow armor is in the right place. It's always what you want to do, is keep the armor as close to your body as possible. And the one thing to call out, you do have external access to the elbow armor if you need to pull that out. I don't know why you would want to pull out the elbow armor without the shoulder armor, which doesn't have external access. You got to get it from the inside, but cool factor just to keep in mind if you are looking at the jacket. Pops are reflective running down the forearm, and then you have just a Velcro cuff closure down here, which I like. Zippers, snaps can add bulk, can scratch your tank. I like that they've just added the Velcro, and it's really solid Velcro we've seen from their Leatt ADV gloves that I like there. Little pop of suede, faux suede at the wrist, just to keep it nice and comfortable. If you're putting it inside gloves, if you're putting it over top, just reduces the bulk. You can put that down. Up at the top, I mentioned the popper reflected by that hydration tube, but it is just a main zipper entry all the way down the front. That's going to be nice and exposed. It does allow air to go through it. On the multi-tour, you have a flap over top that helps stop air from flowing through, but you are going to get some airflow through at that main zipper. If you're not wearing that waterproof liner, if the waterproof liner is installed, obviously it's not going to get there. But at the chest, you're getting big mesh panels with this nice gradient sublimated graphic, but you get mesh panels over top of it. It's going to be nice, help flow air through if that waterproof liner is out. You get a nice storage pocket at the chest, vertical style, and the best part is it is mesh lined inside as well, so it's not going to hinder any of that airflow through if you're not installing it. So that's a very well thought out idea from Leatt. It's not going to hinder any of the airflow if you put a bag or a waterproof pocket there. That would stop the airflow from coming through. You get a nice little clip for the hydration tube. If you add a hydration tube to this entire jacket, you have a clip there that you can go ahead and just snap it in place so it's not flapping in the wind. And then two lower cargo pockets. One thing I will say is the multi-tour had some hand warmer pockets on each side of it, just for if you're stashing them in there. Nothing exists like that on this jacket, but it is just a Velcro, and it is a bagged liner with a fold over. I will say, I'll call these water resistant. If you want anything waterproof, put it underneath of the waterproof liner. It's gonna be the best way to keep it fully waterproof in there, but this is like a water resistant cargo style pockets for both at the front. One cool part too, before we move to the side, you do have a little bit of a zipper protector down at the base, so it doesn't scratch your tank if you are sitting or even in the standing riding position. It's not gonna be something that scratches your tank repeatedly over time. You can get turned to the side, hit that riding position. At the side, we got sliding adjusters to really pull in the side if you need to. If you drop that waterproof liner out, you get a little bit of excess, you can go ahead and pop that out. I like that they've added that in there. I would have loved to see maybe a second one or even an angled version for ADV riding, but I'm not gonna, ask for too much. I think they did that with the 7.5 line, so I like that they've at least given it to you here on the 5.5. Otherwise, it is full mesh running down the entire side, and down at the base you get a Velcro side hem adjuster if you need to pull it in. I like how they've done that with a little bit of an extra flap, so it does take in the slack without adding too much bulk at the sides. You can go turn to the back for me. At the back, you can actually see the waterproof liner sticking out here for Norman. The tall collar, you get a hanger port at the top, and then at the back is where you can actually install the hydration pack if you want to add one in. It doesn't come installed with one, it doesn't come included with one. You have to add it in there, but they give you the option. One really cool part though, that I called this out with the multi-tour, I'll call it out with the Flowtour as well. If you see these orange tabs, these are actually connected over to the shoulders on each side. It helps disperse the weight of that hydration pouch. If you just add a pouch here and have it hang, it's just gonna pull at your back. If you disperse that weight to each side, it's really nice and really well thought out that it helps just alleviate it, because if you are wearing an ADV jacket, you probably are riding for a few more hours than just going down the trail. So really anything you can do to pull the weight away from dragging you backwards is gonna reduce how much fatigue you are getting out there on the road. But underneath there, it is a CE level 2 back protector included with this jacket, and then a massive mesh panel just to help that exhaust out of the jacket, cool you off on those hotter riding climates out there, with pops of reflective to each side, and you can even see the reflective Leatt logo down at the base. Another thing, you have another storage pocket in the back. If you want to ditch that waterproof liner inside, you can chuck it into here and just ride on in hotter weather. You can pull it out and throw it on there. I'll just say the same thing I said with the front. It is lined. I would call this more of a water resistant one. If you're looking for waterproofing, that's where that waterproof jacket on the inside, which we'll see in a second, really comes into play. But you also get a nice drop seat below that cargo pocket. You can go ahead and spin to the front. Let's open it up, show them the interior of this one. The interior of this jacket, again, this is a nice destination style Leatt jacket. I like that there's no snaps on this one like we saw with the multi-tour. It doesn't snap in place, but it does just zip up, which I think we are all fine. But it can be worn over or under on the jacket. It actually has the matching neck brace straps over top if you want to add it, but it's got reflective, really nice zipper. And again, 20K is still very solid, even though this is like the second tier for Leatt compared to their 30K waterproof liner. It's still better than most brands out there when it comes to waterproofing and breathability. So just keep that in mind. You can wear it over top of the jacket, you can wear it underneath, but you can wear it around the campsite with the destination style and the reflective. So really well thought out option from Leatt. Mesh interior with the option to add the chest protector if you want, and then you have connection zippers at the back if you're pairing this up with the matching 5.5 Flowtour pants. You can go ahead and zip that up for me. But all in, like I said, Leatt is doing a fantastic job getting into ADV, bringing what they know from off-road riding and protection and adding it into just well thought out designs for anybody riding down the trail. So if you are looking at a jacket, if you're looking at the 5.5 line, the Flowtour is my favorite. If you're looking at the 7.5 line, the Flowtour is also my favorite. I don't really ride when the snow is on the ground that I need the thermal liners or the waterproofing, but it's nice to have if you are going on longer BDR routes or if you're riding around the entire US, you're hitting a bunch of different climates. So keep that in mind. But if you have any other questions on this jacket, click that info button that's going to take you over to the product page where you can read other rider reviews and see what other riders are saying about the all new 5.5 line. Don't just take my word for it. If you still have questions after that, if you're confused on sizing, which one's right for you within Leatt's line, or just trying to figure out what option is best for your gear closet, give our customer service agents a call. They're all riders, happy to help you get set up for your next ride. I want to thank you for joining Norman and I and checking out the all-new Leatt 5.5 ADV Flowtour jacket. I'm Pat, and I'll see you in the next video.